Okay, so in this next part, we're going to be creating our stab sound, and we're going to be using a simpler and a basic saw sample. And all stab sounds are sort of built in the same way. You want a sort of short stabby noise in some sort of a chord with a nice rhythm to it. So let's load our simpler in. And then we can go to our resources pack and drop the saw in. And just check that your start time is right on the money there. So right on the start of the waveform, so there's no gaps. And then what we can do is just create a part by double clicking, and then we'll play it along and find a cool funky groove to go along with our track. So I'll arm the track here, and that's the sort of register we want there. Okay, so we've got a pretty cool part there, and we can go into quantize. We've quantized it, and you'll notice I've got quantize ends on as well as quantize start, and that's pretty handy. Just sort of neatens things up. And what I'm actually going to do is make those notes all just 16ths, just so all our individual stab hits sound the same. And then what we can do is go in and start editing our sound. We seem to be missing a note there. Okay, so I just moved that note instead of shortening it, so that should be us now. The other thing we will need to do is to grab our swing and drop it onto our part as well, just to make sure we've got that swing groove on there. And so how do we get from just a sort of basic super saw sound to a stab sound? And it's pretty much the same way as you would make a bass. Get your filter on. We're going to use a LP24, which is a low pass filter, and we can put our envelope up quite a bit and bring our frequency down. And also make sure to select the filter envelope button. And by controlling the envelope, you can control how quickly the attack and the decay are acting upon the filter. So when it's up high, it's using a lot of the decay from the start of the filter right down to the bottom, and it's doing it really quickly. If we have it sort of down lower, it's starting the filter a wee bit lower and going down a bit lower. So play about with the frequency and the envelope, and you can even play with your decay time to sort of tune in the particular type of stab you're looking for. You could go quite tight and stabby or open it up a bit. And we're also going to turn our velocity up, so we can turn it up to 100%, and that just means that we are going to be able to vary the volumes of the notes. If we wanted to. So that could be handy in certain circumstances if you wanted to put sort of accent notes in. And you can turn the volume down the same way you would put a rhythm in. Which just helps with your groove. So let's hear what it sounds like with everything playing together. that sounds cool. We've now got a bit of a groove and a bit of a vibe, and the stab sort of helps to keep things moving. One of the other cool things you can do with this particular sample is you can move the start time along the sample, and it'll give you a slightly different tone. So if you play along with your track and adjust that, you can get a stab sound that maybe fits a bit better. So we'll set it there. It seems to be giving us a nice thicker sort of sound. So that's it for the stabs. In the next part, we're going to be adding our lead riff sound in.